got a 2-practice review for you. Obviously, Friday night we went to Acrisure Stadium for number 12. Had a good situational practice with live work. Good day. Think we got better. Again, just getting all the situational stuff done and didn't have turnovers. I think we had 1 tip ball interception again. Credit to the defense getting a tip ball at the line of scrimmage. And then today, again, more situational stuff, just getting a lot of good work done with our football team. We did an overtime on Friday night. We did another one today, just working overtime. Got some 2-point plays in today. But been good work overall. So getting ready for the spring game. Got draft tomorrow. Everybody ready for the draft? So we'll have that in here at noon and get ready for a spring game, which will be Thud this year. We're going to go Thud. Just want to stay up and stay healthy as we can coming out of that game. And being that it's not on the ACC network, I wanted to make sure it's Thud. If it was ACC network, I'd have gone live probably. So it's a good thing for me.
Your first Thud spring game?
I can't recall. Maybe. We may have done one other, but again, Thud's pretty lively. It's just keeping guys off the ground.
With Friday specifically, I mean, what did the offense do well? And then obviously they were wearing blue shirts today.
They were wearing blue shirts today. Again, it wasn't a jersey scrimmage, so they were wearing blue shirts today. Should have kept it the same. I don't even know. That's Dantas. It was, we had 2 jersey scrimmages. The offense won the second one. The defense won the first one, and then again, we didn't play for the jersey, so Dantas just switched it up. So that's good that you peeked at that. I didn't even notice it, but we didn't play for the jerseys. So, again, we didn't, we're only allowed to have 3 scrimmages by NCAA rules. So we had 2, and then that's why it was a situational day. And obviously we'll get the 3rd one here coming up on Saturday. So it was a good day. I mean, I think the offense, it was a back and forth battle. There was no turnovers except that one, which is good when you go probably 90 plays with the 1s and 2s. 3s didn't get much work on Saturday just because the numbers start to get thin. So 1s and 2s, obviously, all 3 quarterbacks played. We got them all reps pretty evenly, but good day overall.
Second spring for Eli. What have you seen from him in terms of progression from the beginning of camp now?
Get a work in progress. Again, I think he's still not 100%. I mean, Rick, our PT guy, still making sure he's 100%. So we've, I don't want to say. He's been out there going live, but he's obviously not getting hit. But he's running like he's live. But he's still we do all kinds of tests in the training to make sure that when there's still a little hesitation in my opinion from him. And again, because he just doesn't have that. There's a. Rick sends me all these numbers. Rick does, our PT does an unbelievable job. But we're just going to make sure he's back 100%. But he's done well. But again, that's with all of January, February, not doing a whole lot, not throwing a whole bunch, just really getting healthy, mainly. So I think it's a work in progress, and we're happy with where all the quarterbacks are at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
How has Julian taken the experience in the bowl game and used that to kind of grow through this spring practices?
Julian's been really good. I mean, like I said, all 3 quarterbacks have been good. We're happy with them all. There's those up down days, but Julian's going to beat you with his feet. On the scrimmage day 1, he had a beautiful 69-yard, and nobody touched him, and he strides it out. But Julian has taken it to the next level. He is a totally different player, mentally and physically. I think he's studying the game more. I don't know if he studied a lot of practice last spring. You can probably ask him if he watched a lot of tape on his own. But he's just a totally different player. He's, that bowl game was great for him, as far as just his confidence and going, okay, I got it. And I think it's given that opportunity here when January came around just to kind of study it more and kind of go, okay, I got this. So he's really dedicated to it. I know he's watching a lot of tape on his iPad. I'm just guessing. He can probably tell you that. If it's different now than last spring, but I bet you there's a world of difference where he is mentally and where he is physically.
Which of the situations did you most want to clean up from last season?
It's not clean up, it's just continue to do it. Like I said, we got an overtime period. We got a 2-minute before the second quarter, or 2 minute at the end of the second quarter. We didn't go to it. I had a 2-minute plan for the end, but it was time, and I had a certain amount of plays in my mind that I wanted to get to and not go over, to the point where we're drafting a bunch of injured guys on tomorrow at noon. So just wanted to be smart and not go over the limit of plays because it can be too much out there when you're going 22 guys at a time are on the field. I mean, and then the next 22 are going out, and then the next 22. That's a lot of football players on the field at one time. So you just want to try to keep them healthy. It's a physical practice. Even when we go thud, which we did a lot of thud, it's live. The O-line, D-line are going live every snap. There's no, it's trying to stay up on the tailback, and sometimes they fall over just like they did today. But it's been good work.
Obviously, Coach Bell has a certain type with his skilled players. He likes speed, tempo. How's that wave of new guys coming into this program? Like the Tony Kinslers and Jakarian Turners, how have they kind of shown up this spring?
They've shown up in a big way. I mean, I think, Turner, Boosie gets better every single day. There's some, he had some inside, some runs today, an inside run that were really good. But, we're happy with where both those guys are. Our young skill has done a great job of getting lined up, learning the offense, first of all. I think a lot better than, our young guys did a year ago. So going back to we got some overtime periods in. We got, some second down to third down, we call it sequencing plays, just going from second down and 10, and you gain 5, it's now 3rd and 5. So we got to think, on the run. So it's kind of like a scrimmage, but, just working those different situations, to finish answering your question, Jerry.
Do you always make sure you do a Friday practice during spring?
No, it's the first time we did it. The only time I think I'll do it again. I think it was good energy out of our football team when we go out there. I think they were excited to go out under the lights in Acrisure Stadium. Again, the main reason was because of, the weather. And I woke up Saturday morning and said, it's a good thing we went. It was pouring down. And again, we had some light, drizzle, I guess. My shoes were wet afterwards, but I didn't even feel it. I didn't even think it rained. But it was really good to go Friday. I think we'll try to do that again.
With it being the final week of camp, is there any areas of this team that you still need to see some improvement?
We need improvement on the O-line, the D-line, linebackers, running backs, receivers, quarterbacks, everybody. I mean, we need, we're never where, that's why we coach. It's tough loving those meetings, but we're never satisfied. If we all start to get satisfied, matter of fact, it's a great question. Nathan, I asked our team today, I said, we got 3 practices to go. Raise your hand if you're happy where you are. Guess what? There wasn't one hand raised. That's the way it's supposed to be. They're getting coached every single day. And again, that just happened this morning. Correct, Julian? Just not one hand got raised. And, I figured it'd be somebody, some of the freshmen in the back, but not one person said they're where they want to be. And that's kind of what spring ball is. We're never, coaches, we're, coaches and calling timeouts and 2-minute and, some of those, the overtime and what we do and managing the clock. Because when we go manage the clock in a 2-minute drill, I have LL being the head coach for the offense because Coach Bell's, he's all over the place screaming and yelling and calling plays that he can't do it at the same time. So, which I've always done that. I try to stay out of it and not be the clock manager. I'm the evaluator of the clock management, but let those guys have an opportunity to manage the clock like we did today. We had 1:16 on the clock, and there's 2 timeouts for the offense. Defense has none. Bates is trying to call a timeout at the end, and I hear him on the headphones. I'm like, you got no timeouts left. So just all those situations of, just making sure they're locked in and engaged.
And I'm sure you'd probably want to have live as much as you could, but what advantages is there to have the spring game in thud?
I'll let you know after the spring game. Sometimes thud gets scarier than live. So maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. The problem with thud is, and I'll try to make it a light thud, is some guys are going full speed, trying to impress mom in the stands and all of a sudden wipe out a guy. Today, Cam Lindsey comes blitzing through the A-gap, and he tripped and stumbled and dived through the backfield. He takes someone's legs out. Like, what are we doing? It's thud. Stay off the ground. I'm constantly screaming and trying to teach the tempo. I feel like the referee out there most of the time just controlling the tempo. So sometimes live is better, but I hope I'm making the right decision.
You said there was one turnover on Friday. Which defensive player came down with it?
Oh boy, who was it? Justin who? Kyle Lewis, right?
Justin Thompson.
Was it Justin? Okay. So it was Justin Thompson got one. So I thought maybe it was Kyle Lewis. But I must be getting remember the one he took a knee on? Was that Thursday? Or, okay. So, yeah, that was right. That was in the indoor facility.
I know one of your goals is to keep everybody healthy. Have you been able to do that since the start?
Heck no, I've done a crappy job at that, but it's hard. You got, we're banged up a little bit. You'll probably see tomorrow when we draft out the injured guys. Again, obviously we came in, with a lot of season surgeries, and we'll have a couple after spring ball as well. We've had a couple in the middle, so that's part of the game. But we got to continue to move forward, and luckily it's nothing bad, and we still got 2 more to go. We'll go Spiders Thursday, get lightened up. It'll be a blue gold practice, and we'll kind of go from there.
Just coming in after practice every day, just taking something from every practice, trying to learn something, watching the film, just trying to take something every day and focus on that next practice, and just trying to build every day. So, yeah.
It seems like you guys had some success on Friday, even if it wasn't a scrimmage. I mean, what do you think you guys did well as an offense that night?
I'll say, like Coach said, just focusing on not turning the ball over. And when you don't turn the ball over and take negative plays, it's a lot easier to move the ball and play in positive down the distance. So I feel like we did a good job at moving the ball and just putting together good drives.
Julian, what did that?
What did preparing for and playing in that bowl game teach you?
I'll say it taught me a lot. Just really showing me how to get prepared on the college level. I would say it's a lot different than high school. A lot come more with that. And after, just like showing next season what I could do better to be better than I was last year and try to improve on that. So, yeah.
Julian, does that inspire you to look at more tape, to do more things because of that opportunity?
Yeah, definitely. I'll say just showing like what I can do, it just made me want to be even better, just to improve on that. And the only way you could do that really is mentally, just looking at more tape, seeing what you could do better, coming into the next day, just focusing on what you could do better.
Is there anyone you watch tape with specifically, or is it more yourself?
I'll say Coach Bell, anybody. I watch by myself, quarterback coach, anybody. Just trying to get as much film as I can in.
Where do you think you need to improve on in order to become a complete quarterback?
I'll say I could still improve on everything. My feet sometimes, getting faster at processing, anticipating throws, just everything in my game, totally.
Julian, Coach has talked about not just your athleticism and speed, but the quarterback group as a whole. How beneficial is it for you guys as a unit to have such athletic players?
I'll say at quarterback, every play is not perfect. So like when something breaks down or something is not the way it's supposed to look, when you have the ability to get out of the pocket and make plays with your feet, it just makes everything much easier. So,
John, how do you feel you've protected the ball so far this spring?
I'll say I did a good job, but there's always room for improvement. So,
What's your approach when it comes to throwing? Are you more wanting to protect it, or are you sort of okay with taking risks, knowing that there's a chance you can turn it over?
I'll say I like to protect the ball, but that comes with watching film, knowing when people are at. So just trying to anticipate throws and stuff like that will help you be more cautious with the football.
Can you kind of get a sense of just like Coach Bell's influence on this offense, the way he recruited a lot of speed, a lot of guys from Florida, like how have those guys kind of energized the program, if you will?
All the speed is just, it's nice to have just a lot of guys winning. The thing that it is when they come in just learning the offense. But once everybody gets it, it's a lot easier just having those guys run around, play football fast. It's just like second nature to them.
Can you kind of feel that maybe this time last year to now, it's like there's kind of more continuity, more guys kind of know what's going on?
Yeah, definitely. With it being a second year with the offense, I feel like it's a lot easier to learn and to teach other guys when other people already know it instead of everybody trying to learn it.
Julian, a lot's been made of your feet and that ability. How far do you think you've come in just being able to throw the football?
I'll say I grew a lot. That was more my main focus because obviously being gifted athletically is like, that's a given, but trying to build as a quarterback and just working on things for that was a big thing for me this offseason. So yeah.
Knowing how athletic your entire quarterbacks are, how are you guys kind of coached to just take off and run versus know when to sit in the pocket and wait for something to develop?
Really just having a feel. Like if you feel pressure, your eyes should come down, check down. But if the check down's not there, you take off and run. Don't like sit and wait there. If you have a lane, just take it and run.
Narduzzi has referenced your long touchdown run earlier in camp this spring. Can you take us through what happened in that play and what you saw when you were the first started running?
It was a zone read, and the defensive end went with the running back, so I pulled it, and it just made a few guys miss, and then took off down the sideline.
How do you approach Saturday? What the emotions feel like to be in your home stadium and get a chance to show you? I'm sure you're gonna have family and friends there. What's that gonna be like for you?
Obviously, first have fun. That'll be the main goal, but just showing how much I grew, being able to just compete and just be out there with everybody, showing how far I came from last year. So yeah.
Is there a pro quarterback that you like and would like them? Do you like style?
I like to watch everybody. Patrick Mahomes is my favorite, but some of the stuff he does, like he can only do that. So just watching other guys, like I'll say, just watching football in general, watching everybody, seeing how they play or like what their process is, that helps.
It's been good. I'm definitely more comfortable from when I first came here, but the transition, it's been good so far.
How would you describe what that transition is like, especially at the speed and everything happens at?
For the most part, it's been good. The speed, it's not too fast. You just, especially once you get adjusted, it's just a matter of like learning the playbook and like knowing what you're doing, knowing your assignments, executing your assignments, and just stuff like that.
What is the hardest part about making that step up from college to high school, like football?
For me, it's just learning the playbooks. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure I get my depth on routes, making sure all my routes and stuff are polished, making sure I beat defenders one-on-one, just stuff like that.
What do you feel like you've shown the quarterbacks, and how is that relationship growing?
I'll say my drive, wanting to beat the person in front of me for the most part. I don't like losing reps at all. I take from every practice, I take what I can do better, look at film, try to see what I can improve on, and that for the most part, I'm pretty sure they like that.
What's it been like learning from Coach Laster? Seems like he's pretty vocal with you guys in practice.
It's been great. I love that guy. He tells me everything I've done wrong. He tells me everything I've done right. He coaches. He's a really good coach. He makes sure all the receivers in the receiver room is doing their assignments, making sure everybody is in meetings on time and stuff like that. He's a really good coach. Yeah.
There's a lot of young receivers along with you, and then some transfer guys. How have you seen the room sort of come together with those guys learning the offense along with you?
We have a good relationship. We never had like any problems in the receiver room. We all come together. We all communicate. We all communicate on the field when we need to and stuff like that.
Has Kenny been someone that you've really leaned on? How has he helped you through this process?
His leadership. He's definitely a leader in the receiver room. He helps out the younger guys. He helps out the new guys. He's just overall just a leader in the receiver room.
You're working with Julian specifically. What have you seen from him just like as a quarterback this camp?
Working with him, he's been pretty good. Like I said, he's a leader too as well. He's also an Eagle, just like myself. Working with him, it's been good for the most part. Every time I run a route, he makes sure he tells me what I could have done better. He tells me when I run a good route, when I've done a good job running that route, just critiquing me on everything I do, stuff like that.
Based on how much work you're getting in practice out there, do you see this as more, do you have a sense this will be more than a redshirt season for you this year?
I'm not too sure. I'll let the coaches decide on that. When I get the opportunity to, and when I get the opportunity to play in a game, I just got to go out there and do my thing, especially during fall camp, and show the coaches why I should get on the field during summer. Just keep showing them why I should get the opportunity to get on the field my freshman year. But I just come here and work hard every day and expect to get on the field. So it's really up to the coaches at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, I just take advantage of my opportunities when I can.
Dr. Julian, for a second, have you ever caught passes from a lefty quarterback?
No, sir.
Is it like any different?
No, not really. I'll probably say like the spinning the ball, but no, not really.
Tony, you cool to waking up to snow on April 8th?
April 8th? I mean, yeah, that's cool. Why not? I mean, I've been living in Florida my whole life. I like the snow. It's not that bad.
So boys?
They're about the same actually right now. It's actually a little less, just recovering from the season. You know, the big numbers are going to come after spring ball and when we get into that summer portion when we're really lifting hard, because the workouts after the season are kind of just rebuilding and just getting us back healthy, you know. So, yeah, they're about the same, probably a little less just because I was still banged up.
What were your takeaways for you from last season, your freshman year?
Takeaways, I just got a lot to improve on. Biggest things I want to improve on is getting extension, you know, in the run game so I can make a play. You know, a lot of times I'm driving my guy back, and that's cool and that's good, but if I want to, you know, make a play, I got to get extension, lock out, and disengage and get to the ball carrier. And also I've been working on my pass rush a lot as well, because last season I was kind of just, you know, going out there trying not to make mistakes. Now I'm going out there trying to dominate, and with that I got to, you know, be a good pass rusher. So that's what I've been working on, you know, making sure I'm hitting moves and stuff.
It's not only your second year, but it's the second year for the guys with new coach. How is that? How do you feel that's different this year when you kind of know what to expect?
Oh, it's a lot different because we're used to his coaching style. You know, we're used to what he expects from us. So we know what we got to come in and do every day. We know what, you know, the goal is that we have to accomplish it, and we know how he wants us to play and how he wants us to look. So it's a lot better just, you know, being more comfortable with the coaching. So, yeah.
What's your personal best on the bench press?
It was 475 last year. 475. On 225. I did that. That was a while ago. I did 225 after I finished upper body workout. I think it was 30 something times, but that was after I finished, you know, a pretty hard workout. So I can do a decent amount on that. And this was a while ago. A goal. When it comes to the combine and stuff, I think if I get a month to just train for it, I can hit 40 reps, 225. I think I can do that.
Sorry, were you able to watch Pro Day?
I was a little bit.
What does that do for you, just inspiration, seeing all the NFL guys, these guys going through these drills?
But it's awesome because that's the goal, right? That's what, you know, we dreamed about. We dreamed about, you know, showcasing our ability in front of the world. After we did it on the field, the pro days for just showcasing what you can do as an athlete as well. So, you know, to get to that level, I mean, that'd be great. That's awesome. That's the goal, you know. So it was great seeing my teammates go out there, you know, and accomplish their dreams, and that is to compete.
What's it like having Isaiah, Sean, Nick, all back? You know, a lot of those guys were playing a lot alongside you. What's it like having all those guys back?
It's awesome. You know, we've gotten a lot closer this year, I would say. You know, we're definitely more of a brotherhood than we were last year, just getting to know each other. And it's awesome because, you know, all of us are good at different things. So when we're all in that room, we're all watching film, we can ask each other, you know, how he did this, how you did this, and I'll tell him how I did something, you know, and we'll just learn from each other and, like, pick each other's minds and stuff to try to get better. So it's great having them back.
So where do you think, as a group, you guys have grown the most since the end of last season?
In terms of D-line, we've grown a lot. We've grown a lot, you know, in the pass rush. That was big. We've grown a lot in the run game as well, you know, holding on double teams and stuff like that. I think we've gotten, you know, we still have a long way to go, but I think we're, you know, approaching our goal. You know, we just got to keep working.
To kind of build on that, whenever you look at last season as a group and what you guys wanted to do this offseason, what were, like, the main areas you guys wanted to fix or get better at? Or was it, like, stopping the run or getting the quarterback? Like, what were kind of the main goals?
I think as a group, just getting to the quarterback more, you know. That was kind of, especially in the interior, that was, you know, we didn't have as many, you know, sacks as we would have wanted in the interior. All of us, we all want to just, you know, be multiple sack guys, you know, in terms of statistics. We want to get after the quarterback, and we want to not have to blitz and stuff, and we have the ability to do that, and we will do that. So, yeah.
It seems like there's outgoing personalities in your room. What's that energy like when you guys are together?
It's good because, you know, it's never dead in there, you know. It's always a lot of energy, you know, going back and forth. It's good. It's funny a lot of times, too, but it's real competitive in there. We're real competitive. We're all trying to eat at the end of the day. But, you know, we're all brothers, too, so we're competing, but we're all still tight and close, you know, so it's good.
You talked about comfort for yourself just in your second year. What have you seen from Jasir? Just he's also going into his second year. How is he more comfortable this time around?
Oh yeah, he's balling for sure. Jasir's a dog, you know. I think when it comes to comfortability, he's definitely more comfortable just knowing the scheme, knowing the plays. You know, he didn't early in roles where he didn't get the extra time that I was able to get. Fortunately, I was able to get. So that's kind of, and it's hard to learn all those plays in a short amount of time. So he knows the playbook now. He's comfortable with the playbook, so now he can just go out there and dominate. And that's what he's doing. He's doing a great job. So. Yeah.
Anything final?
Who's your number one challenger to the title and strongest man in the locker room?
Number one challenger. See, that's hard because there's Coop when it comes to the squat. He's somewhat close. He's somewhat close to me, but then when it comes to the bench, Bear. I'll say Bear is the next up. Yeah, he's strong. He's a strong dude. Yeah, so I think Coop when it comes to the squat, and Bear when it comes to bench. He's